Happy ReZero Day, everybody! Welcome back to ReZero episode 4. Yeah, what can I say? Shit's about to go down, that's all I know. And my voice is actually gonna crack a little bit. It's what I always have when I go back to recording stuff. I can always feel it in the throat and the voice, kinda. I'm not used to yapping as much as I do on YouTube. I don't yap that much in real life, that's the problem. Let's get this party started. I'd say without any talk beforehand, we're just gonna go into it. This is why you probably also don't get any intro music or whatever, or background music that I normally have. Shout out to actually Just As Soon by Kevin MacLeod, I think it is. Really great music. I always use that. It's royalty free and it's really great to be using that to kind of go with my discussions. I feel like it's a lot nicer to actually do a discussion with some nice background music, some very chill background music. Actually discovered that one when I was searching for like a background music to use for Monster, and since then I've kind of mostly used that one, although sometimes I kind of blend in some other music tracks that I find nice. For example, on Monogatari I sometimes blend in some like covers of the songs or of the OPs, EDs that are being used and whatnot. But yeah, let's fucking go. ReZero. The sync up is with a certain frame that I'm probably gonna write on the screen right here, so you know that how to sync it up properly. Other than that, a little heads up, I think I'm gonna do that maybe with episode 5, depending on what we want to do, but I might be doing that with episode 5, where I start kind of stopping in the middle of the episode and talking about it and just testing that out. But you know what? If this isn't continuous action, actually, I'm just gonna do it with this episode. Right, so it starts with 3, 2, 1, go. Right, nice. Ooh. What's the soundtrack? Holy shit, dude. Look at the body parts, what the fuck? They did enjoy that. Like, this is deliberate. This is not a normal witch cultist. Ooh. Reminding him what's important. I mean, they heard that, so. Ooh. No OP? No OP? No OP! Holy shit! I'm sorry. Ooh. Oh, that's felt. It looks kind of like the loot house. What a fucking father, holy shit. An order's an order. Ah, and we don't stick to that. Interesting. It's very interesting how we have that loyalty conflict going on, right? Somebody actually in the comments, I think episode 2 of ReZero, said they feel like Reinhardt is the only, or one of the only people who actually feel very determined by, actually predetermined in a way, right? That they can't live out their own, like, their own life, basically. That they can't really make proper decisions. And there's this whole thing about like when we see him fighting Puck in one of like the possible presents in season 2, we do see also or hear Puck saying, "You are a hero, and a hero is all you ever can be," which is very interesting and kind of giving us an idea that I guess it makes sense that Reinhardt feels a lot like he can't make his own decisions, because if you are somebody who is so blessed by the world, right, who has so much karmic destiny on top of his shoulders, basically, because that's what it feels like in terms of like Reinhardt's capabilities, his divine blessings. He has so much karmic destiny on his shoulders that it binds him. And this is like a very poetic thing, I feel, right? Like this contrast between the two of them, right? And him actually having to make a decision here between saving people, which is something that he considers his duty, and keeping Felt safe, and the third, like the triple thing that is going back again, Felt actually ordering him to go out and save people, because Felt is technically his mistress. So there, or like mistress in the sense of master, right? Lord, Empress, whatever you want to call it. So technically he should listen to her, right? But also he does have to make his own decision, what he thinks is the best possible thing to do. But I do wonder why Heinkel is actually holding her hostage here. I didn't quite get that. We'll look at that in the discussion, because I don't quite get what he wants to achieve by that. Yeah, which witch then? Yep.
記録にはほとんど残されてへんけど、そんな口伝もなくはないんよ。そしてこの都市には嫉妬の魔女以外の骨が残されていると。どこにあるのかご存知なのですか?
We don't. Yeah.
魔女の遺骨は水門都市の重要機密。知ってるとしたら10人会の人間やね。
And this is why they pressured him. Hiritaka, that's his name.
それで、なも要求してるカペラエメラダルグニカってのは何なんだ。カメにルグニカって入るのはそれこそ王族だけのはずだろう。おちょくってんじゃねえの。王族がみんな病死したってのは有名な話だし。
As a wrong claim.
かつてエメラダルグニカの名を持つ方が王家に名を連ねていたことは確かです。ご存命だったのは50年以上も前のことです。
And she was
聡明な方だったそうですが、その性格は残忍極まりなく
ruthless.
彼女を恐れていたと。
待って待って、鏡が反応してる。ユリウス。
Ooh, news from Julius.
連絡がないから心配したわ。外の様子はどうなん？
それが。おじゃー。大変です。そっちにお姉ちゃんは戻っていませんですか？
戻ってへん。うちらも心配してて。
お嬢おるか。
I think this is the first time.
平太郎、落ち着き。何があった？ゆっくり話し。
過去の影響がお姉ちゃんから流れ込んできてて、それがすごい。
3分のカゴやね。
Trisection. Yeah, that. Ooh, she's back. That laugh. Ooh, that. Well, very cool, interesting shot. Yeah, I mean, I think this is interesting. This is the first time I've actually seen Anastasia kind of out of her not out of her element, but flustered, right? The first time you do not feel like she is in control of the situation, and you see that in her facial expressions. You see that in the way she actually talks to people and interacts with them. And as the information keeps flooding in and one after another is happening. But yeah, we shortly talk about trisection. Can talk about it later in the discussion, but the trisection is, as we just explained it here, actually they share wounds. So if one of them gets wounded, the other ones take part of that. So in a way, I guess they're harder to kill, because what would normally kill one normal person might just be a severe wound for 3 people. Very, very cool and interesting power. I guess it's, I don't know, you think it's divine blessing or something? Wait, it's not closing? Willem noticed something. Ooh. Oh, I almost forgot. We have the city under control. Ooh, Counterattack. Shit.
あいつのことだからめったなことはないだろうけど。皆さん、お聞きになった通りです。人質の命は一刻の猶予もありません。
Yeah, they got the towers under control.
魔女の遺骨は実在するんよね。
はい、確かに。ですが、魔女の遺骨は動かすことができません。
Maybe a barrier or something.
その動かせないというのは桐高様のご意見ですか？
いいえ、言葉通り物理的な意味で動かせないのです。魔女の遺骨には特別な力が宿っています。
Ooh, okay.
遺骨を動かせば過去に都市を水没させて魔女を滅ぼした当時と、いえ、それ以上の被害を生んで。
Holy shit.
この都市は崩壊するで。
Ah, look at that. I totally blanked on that. I forgot that it was Typhon. You brought her back, dude. You brought her back. Garfield. Focus. Goofy Subaru face. That's right, Subaru. Come on. Ooh, the music. Holy fuck. The shrimp. Holy shit. Ooh. Yeah. Forearms. Yeah. Oh, and he couldn't prevent it. It's very interesting, right? How in that moment when she jumped ahead and right, and he saw the situation, he kind of realized he had that snap realization of shit. If I don't run now, we're gonna die. And although he couldn't prevent her from actually being hit, he couldn't look behind him while he was. I mean, he could, but still, right? He had to look ahead to actually keep running. He actually saved her in a way, right? Because if they sticked around longer, then they would have been even more likely to die or be hurt. Wilhelm has some issues. Divine protection of the death god. Don't blame yourself. But you are going to. Yeah, that's right. You take that, you focus it somewhere else. Regardless, like you better live up to it. Yeah, that's right, Subaru.
それはまた随分アバウトな話の振り方だな、おい。
タイダとの戦いを思い出した。君が特攻役になるのではとね。
A lot of pressure.
俺が魔女教の特攻役ならこんな足になってねえよ。
It's like I can't do everything, dude.
強欲だ。1秒だってあんな野郎にエミリアを預けておきたくねえ。
ということは君は。
As it would be with everybody else and their respective people. Ooh. Holy shit. Yeah.
記憶がいる都市庁舎が最優先だ。
普通に歩いとるとこ見ると大丈夫そうやな。
まあ厳密には大丈夫じゃねえんだけど、フェリスは町の人たちを治療しなきゃならねえし、平太郎たちはカゴで耳の傷を分け合ってて動けねえ。戦力は一人でも多い方がいい。
He's toughing it out.
というか、ここまでついてきてもらってなんだけど、クルシさんは戦えるのか？Oh
yeah, the knowledge to fight. Yeah, the experience is gone, but he's like, can you fight? He's going for Priscilla.
私はそれを非難しませんよ。
そいつはどう思う？マジかよ。となるといよいよ俺が足手まとい確定枠か。
なんでや。兄ちゃんがおったら100人力や。頼りにしとるぞ。白芸の時も怠惰の時も兄ちゃんが気張っとったんをみんな見とる。
They don't know what's behind that.
頼りにしています、スバル様。
そうですか。なんか変な気分だな。
じゃあ一個だけアドバイスだ。
暴
食と出くわしたら本名は聞かせるな。
Ooh, okay.
今この町に滞在司教が全員揃ってる可能性がある。お互い運がありゃ無事で会おうぜ、兄弟。
Right, Kyodai. I don't like this. I don't think anybody does like that.
それもごっつい量やな。
Hmm.
スバル入れ込みすぎだ。
Like, calm down, brother.
無理もない。暴食は因縁のある相手だ。仮に私が君の立場なら平静を装えたかは怪しいものだ。
なんだお前、気持ち悪いな。
Deep breaths, my dude. Deep breaths. It's time for resolve.
基本は複数で一人を仕留める。かっこ撃破して、突勝し奪還だ。
Holy shit, Crush.
ただし、
不利だと思えば即時の撤退を決断すること。
Hmm. Gotta pull up with the crew.
ビビって足止めんじゃねえ。行くぞ。
兄ちゃん、ちょっと失礼。
Ooh. What are you doing, dude? The fuck are you on? Ooh, okay, okay, okay. Oh no, what the fuck?
これは。やつらだ。
Holy shit. Oh, we get some sword fighting. Holy shit, yes.
やはり
What the hell is true, Willem? What is true?
4本腕がなんぼのもんや。もろた。
Ooh.
なんてな。
Holy shit, Ricardo can actually fight. Even more arms. Holy fuck. Ooh, holy shit.
一気に仕掛けて戦果ゼロかよ。結構ショックでかいぜ。みんなもう一度だ。ユリウスとクルシさんの遠距離攻撃を主力に。あだ。
Wait, it's a dragon having the voice. Oh, I love the tongue action.
マジかよ。ゾッとするくらい表情豊かなドラゴンだな。
I feel the same, Subaru.
てめえは負け犬じゃなくて負け猫でしたっけ。にゃーにゃーにゃーにゃー。つがいの猫ちゃんが死んだからって泣いてんのかにゃー。
Dad jokes, really?
黙れよ。お前が喋るたんびに俺の中のドラゴンゾーンが汚される。
ああ、てめえって何なの？他のクズ肉の中でもてめえは一頭羽違いの匂いがしやがる。
You got a good sense of smell?
やり方が大雑把なんだよ。カンバもっともったいぶって一人ずつ出てこい。
The way the camera shake.
分かってやがらねえ。何様だ？神様気取りかよな。はい、時間稼ぎ終了。やったいいです。
君の一方には
Julius.
心の底から驚かされる。虹の光に焼かれるがいい。あるクラウセリア。
Yeah, I thought so.
でっかい角度から見つめて興奮してんじゃねえってんですよ。
Holy fuck, that was nasty.
なんじゃねえぞ。
な
I agree with Subaru. She's ruining it dragons for me.
はあ、待て。
この虫かごの連中がどんな塩梅に苦しむか
人質を処刑すべきか。
You think they can't get any crazier?
しかねえってのか、この状況で。
迷ってる暇はないぞ。あの二人はワイらがやる。
The two just waited. They waited patiently. It's like, what?
負けんなよ。やってこいや大将。
ヴィルヘルム任せました。
Alright. Ooh, holy shit. Love that.
クリス様を任せた。
おんま。クリスさん、失礼。
Okay. Well, going up, I guess. Oh,
クリスさん、無事。
私は平気です。でも
ouch.
ない。
Yeah, just a bit. Just a bit.
落ち着きなよ、お兄さんたちとお姉さん。嬉しいな、嬉しいね。嬉しい。
Oh, are we ever glad?
嬉しすぎる。
Ooh, the
嬉しいと思えるから。
shit.
からこそ暴飲暴食。待ち焦がれたものほど腹をすかしておけばおくほど
Ooh, the music. The OST is really going hard.
うまくなるってもんさ。
That was a great frame, by the way.
お兄さん、僕たち、俺たちに何か
Ooh, yeah. I mean, you would know it's gluttony, probably. Kind of. Infering.
俺たちって記憶力がないからさ。
It's not you, though.
クソガキ。お前がただのうっかりでここに迷い込んだ方向音つってんなら、今のうちに白状しろ。まだ許せる。だけど。
僕たちは魔女教滞在司教。暴食担当。ロイアルファルド。
Your royal father. Alright.
暴食。
Calm down, Subaru, please. Operation. Alright, that is a very long title. Take back the government office. Well, it seems like we haven't gotten far yet, have we? But surprises keep getting us. I love the ED more than the OP. The OT is ED is absolutely amazing. Also, I just realized last episode actually didn't have an ED. I mean, this is like peak ReZero. We're all here. The crew is all here. Serious. Regulus. Capella. Gluttony, I guess. Lay and Roy. Actually, is there I think there's a post credit. Okay. All right. Amelia. All right. We're back here.
ここ
It's like, what the fuck happened?
そうだ。私広場で包帯の女の人と戦いになって。で、あれ？私裸？
ああ、目覚めたみたいだね。本当によかった。
Stranger danger?
で心から安心したよ。
あなたは。
自己紹介の前に大事な質問に答えてほしい。僕たちの未来に重要なことなんだ。
僕たちの？
Alright.
君は少女かな？
That is not literally the translation. That is not literally the translation they just you. I mean, you know what? It's not wrong. Like in terms of like, Japanese viewers, let me know how accurate the translation is. How accurate that translation line actually is. But I think it was kind of similar to what was asked in the light novel, and it has very, very bad implications. But also, I feel like it might not be the implications we think they are, but, you know, gotta clickbait the people, right? Gotta... Or maybe not, maybe it's exactly what you think it is. Alright, great episode. I liked episode 4 more than episode 3, I gotta say. Most definitely. I think we're not gonna... I don't know if we're gonna have an extra episode on this one. I think I'm gonna do like an extra discussion episode only if I actually feel like we have to go through more. There's been a lot more action in this episode, so we're gonna look at a couple of the action sequences and obviously also a couple of the shots. Starting with this shot, which is actually a very normal city shot, but at the same time looks so great and gorgeous. I'm not sure why, to be honest. Like, I don't know why it looks so cool. Maybe it's just the unusual angle that we're using here, but I really like this one. But yeah, we do have that confrontation. Mimi and Garfield versus those two, right? Our like 6-arm person or more arm person, right? Like a living Pokemon basically, and this person who is very, very skilled with a sword. Both of them definitely not standard witch cultists. So they're kind of elite fighters here. Do wonder if they have some identities that will be revealed later, or if this is more of a, this is this guy, like general weird officer kind of the witch cult. And we do know that, oh, people who look like normal as witch cultists can also be very strong and very... Mimi immediately recognizes that. She's like, we don't have a chance against those two, and not alone, right? She's like, Garf, be careful. And she's right. She's right. I mean, we see that a little bit later, but she's so right. And he's listening to that. And I really like that. It's like, why are you here? I need to remind you, why did you come here? You came here to save the children, right? Then the children are nowhere near, right? We don't know if they're in the building. Even if they're in the building, you're not of any help to them if you're dead. This is what she's saying, basically. And he's like, fine, all right. Well, we can't escape, so we going in, and then we're actually trying to find an opportunity to get away. And they think they have that chance, right? And I love that. Look at that. Look at that. That is such a great shot, right? With like the typical like throwing you, like pushing yourself off a point, and they're both going in. The dream team, holy shit, going past us. Dusk Cloud and no OP, holy fuck. All right, let me kind of just go through that again, because I didn't quite get that. Wise Captain, what is the meaning of this? And it obviously stay right here, don't move. All right, he wants to take him out of the equation, but why? Would that be in the sense of Priscilla? I don't think so, right? Priscilla would not want this to happen, so he's acting on his own volition. You know what? Right, okay, wait, what? You know what a hassle the witch cult is? Gonna abandon your beloved master and your blood father to run off and help some people don't even know. Maybe he's protecting himself. Maybe he's like, you're gonna stay here and protect me so nothing happens to me in this fucking city, instead of protecting the people. But Heinkel, you're a stupid fucking bitch. Hello? If he goes out there and he actually stops some of the witch cultists, that means the danger is over for you. So how about you fucking stop bitching around and start being a fucking normal ass person. Holy shit. I love Feld. She's like, hey loser, what are you doing? Go the fuck out of there. Don't let it scare you. He ain't gonna kill me, right? He ain't gonna be able to kill me. I mean, she's got the divine protection. I don't know. I mean, I guess he's from the Estrella family, so it's very likely he also got some divine protections. Wanna try me? I'm just telling you that you do your duty as a knight and protect me as the vice commander, right? You want to talk about the succession? Well, you can dangle that in front of him, but it's very likely that after that you're gonna be like, don't care, right? I got the power. I do love how his face is like half in shadow and half in light. Eyes glinting. But he needs to listen to her. He knows it's the right thing to do, to listen to her and go out there and do your shit. Right? Felt's gonna be fine. If he kills her, he's gained nothing. Whereas he might even reflect badly on Priscilla, in terms of like, people could be saying that she ordered him to kill her, right? And all of these things. Like, I think our knights need to understand that our royal election candidates need to be okay without us, right? They can't handle danger without us. Obviously, we should be here to protect them whenever we can, but we do have our duties. We do have sometimes things that take priority, and we need to just trust them to be able to handle their situations. But yeah, I do wonder what, beyond maybe protecting himself, which is a very stupid idea in my opinion, I do wonder what other goals he might be following with that. Yeah, and we talk about the witch remains, and he's like, but the witch of envy is dead, but he's not the only witch. And we allude to that. And I don't know if that was actually in the LN. I guess it was. I just, yeah, not specifically envy. I do love the little details. We have the maps. We have like in the background, we do have a couple of charts, and some of the maps also show Pristella. I do wonder if that actually also shows Pristella as like the mechanisms that are opening the water gates and whatnot. We're panning around, right? A lot of production value going into showing different shots of the city. Right. And all of this is high quality, right? A lot of that is high quality. We're all sitting on one table, nice focus pull that we just used. Cruz is so good looking. I'm sorry, it's distracting me. I love Cruz design. It's such a great character design. There's one member of the royal family called Emeralda Lagunica. She lived over 50 years ago, right? So, and it is said that she was a very beautiful, intelligent woman, but also ruthless. And we get interrupted here. The question is what happened to her. That is a question that Wilhelm didn't answer. So the question is, what? I don't think she was that, like, whatever royal member that got abducted however many years ago when Wilhelm was still part of like the captain of the Imperial Knights and whatnot. But like 50 years is a little bit longer than that, and for her to be like very cruel and whatnot and merciless, it wouldn't be something you would attribute to a child necessarily. So it needs to be somebody who at this point in time was already in a position of power. But it's very interesting what happened to them, right? Do we know that? Right, and we do have Julius coming in being like, all right, here's the sitch. And like I said, we talked about it for a second here when I paused. Anastasia is actually flustered in this, like in this entire exchange back and forth and whatnot. You do see like the eyes, how they're more open and less like slanted and tilted, as like when they're slanted and tilted and a little bit more kind of edgy, you do get the impression that there's like some calculus behind what she's actually saying and doing, and we often see her in these shots, like half shadow shots, or like being very like with a backdrop of a lot of like almost oversaturating lighting and whatnot. Here we do see her mostly on the same plane, right, on the same level as all the other characters, and being very, very taken aback and not unsure what to do, right? She's like, we're worried. She's worried about Mimi, which makes perfect sense because she's one of the, like, she's been doting on her so fucking hard all of this time. Yeah, and then we do have that. It's like, ooh, I love that shot, how we're panning like like we're looking from up above and then we're panning over. We're almost rotating the shot, but in a very, very interesting way. Bad wound, divine protect. Yeah, it's a divine protection, right? Trisection. This is interesting because whenever like one of the three is actually getting hurt, the other ones, first of all, the other ones immediately recognize that. It's kind of like with Ram and Rem, where you do have like that like twin connection that we had earlier, where Rem was like, I feel that something's happening with Ram and whatnot. But also, it's very Now imagine all of them are fighting at the same time and they're fighting different enemies and one of them gets hurt. The other two are getting hurt too, which immediately interrupts their flow, right? So if one of them, like, on the one hand, it's a strength, right? Because they die less, they're less likely to die because they split the pain, they split the wound and whatever. But at the same time, you have to consider that this also has the downside that all of them get interrupted in their flow when one of them actually gets hurt. Meat scraps. You call it like Capella calling them meat scraps. Holy fuck. Oh, that was a great, like, look at that. Look at that. Like, first of all, like, all of these shots are great, but like, door handle going, focus pull immediately. He turns around, he's ready. But it's Garth. And the blood is dripping. Oh, I love that, how we focus on certain aspects, right? We're not even seeing him as a whole, but like a danger radar, like it's almost like weapon focus. That is that phenomenon when in our perception, especially visual perception, when we're being threatened by something very dangerous, such as a gun or a knife or whatever, we are actually over focusing on that detail and everything else is not getting perceived as well. So it's very hard to give a description of a perpetrator, for example, when we zoomed in our focus, like automatically almost, on the dangerous object. And in this case, it's like a horrifying sight, right? It's like something that is spelling danger, but not for ourselves, but for the other person, right? It's like we're worried about that person and it's like, holy shit, blood, right? And this is what we're focusing on, dripping blood from the hands, blood on his like fangs and whatnot, on his teeth, and blood on her face. So it's like, holy shit. But that was a beautiful. They should have held that shot a little bit longer because it was so well done. Very, very, very good portrayal of like negative emotions exuding from him. All of that, like that purple blue is letting me think negativity, despair, fear, right? Going in that direction. And especially with like his forehead actually matching the color. And then we zoom out to the shocked. And we do have actually the wound that doesn't heal, and Willem is like, that wound. I think he's saying something about that. The wound isn't closing. I need bandages, and Willem is like, No, he's not saying anything, he's just recognizing that for whatever reason. Maybe he has seen it before. I hope you raiders are realizing by now that it's done you no good. What raiding? Who has been raiding anything, right? And this is what I pointed out during, I did this one during the reaction, is like the fisheye lens. I love my fisheye lenses. I love my fisheye lenses. Look at that. The distortion is crazy, but it's also displaying how much, like how anxious we suddenly get when we hear that. I was like, I'm gonna turn them into even tinier meat scraps, and I don't know what that sound is. Holy fuck. I mean, I remember there being something, I don't know what it was, right? When I read the light novel. The way everything vibrates, right? Almost through everybody's bones, it feels like. And the way he's like using her voice where she's like very playful in her voice. Right? While at the same time being super, super crazy and threatening, you hear that. And we're discussing all of that. Otto's whereabouts are still unknown, especially if we consider that 2 gluttonies out there. I hope he doesn't get, remmed, basically. Oh, I love this shot. I don't know why I love this shot. I think it's like just the way this arch opens up, right? And we do have like that light, like the light shining directly on this arch going up, and then this side of the screen has Krush basically taking in the space. And the way her hair flows is very nice in contrast to how the arch goes. But yeah, the witch remains has a special power. The damage would rival that of time when the city was flooded to kill the witch. No, it would even be worse. And we zoom in and we see like, holy shit, that looks absolutely fucking insane. That looks so insane. To see that as a visual, and Al behind whispering something being like, Tiffon drowned in the flood, huh? And we have like that little, like some people don't pick up on it, but most people are like, holy shit, wait, what? Tiffon. Pride. Holy shit. I do wonder what they want with the remains, right? Oh, I'm stupid. Holy shit. Pride is the only seat that is vacant. So either they want to check if Pride is still vacant, or they want to get the witch factor to give it to somebody. Holy fuck, I didn't even piece that together back when I was reading Arc 5. But yeah, that makes sense, right? And we're going in, we're having like, oh, Garfield, poor fucking Garfield. He has so much fear facing the people who are close to Mimi, because he feels like he's let her down because he's not strong enough. You have that constantly when we go back to what was happening, right? When they were going in and they were facing them, and he kept seeing Elsa because he's like, I'm not strong enough for these people, right? With every blow, with every like exchange, he's feeling like he's being overwhelmed in strength and technique and whatnot, and he's in over his head, and he's anxious to protect that person that is next to him, that helped him in this very crucial moment of his life, right? The person that is also, from a visual perspective, seeming very vulnerable, right? Even if she's very, very strong, right? On a magic level. And he's blaming himself here, and he's saying it later, like, I know none of you are blaming me, but in his mind, that is just them being overly nice to him, right? And him just being like, I know if I would be stronger, this wouldn't have happened. But Garfield, is there even any possibility that you would have been stronger in any way, right? Like, is that a realistic thing? You having gotten stronger to that degree that you would be able to then defend yourself in this situation? Or is it not more likely that this is just something that was beyond your or is beyond your means at this current place in time, and maybe if you trained for a couple of more years, you would be able to do that. But at the moment, especially with two very, very powerful opponents, maybe you'd be able to edge out a win against one of them, but both of them, sometimes you just gotta accept the reality and be like, there's nothing I could have done, because otherwise you're just gonna destroy yourself from the inside. But I understand why that happens. Why does it happen? Because he already has these self-doubts, right? Raised by a couple of things in his past, as we know from season 2. It's by this desire that he feels like he needs to be the protecting force, right? Raised by this also by him actually turning that around and becoming the shield of Emilia's camp, right? Being like the powerhouse of Emilia's camp and taking pride in that. There's also this problem that whenever that station that he has is being kind of called in question by himself, by experiencing that people are stronger than him, there's this insecurity that is coming out of him, right? That he has not yet properly overcome on a mental level. And let's just keep putting him back into the ground, especially with all the other emotional turmoil that's going on inside of him with episode 3 and whatnot, right? The entire mother thematic, and especially since the thematic with his mother was kind of also tied to why he became the way he was in the sanctuary, right? And why he was so adamant on being strong and being like protective and being the shield and whatnot, right? All of that is connected. So one of these things happening, one of these things coming up will trigger these associations with the other things. So this is a complex problem for him. But Ricardo is great. He's like, thank you for that. She would not be alive. And Subaru realizes Garfield is out of it, and he needs somebody who is close to him, who he can actually relate to, because Ricardo is not somebody he's known for very long, like known him for a day or something like that. He's coming in, he's like, Garfield, listen to me, right? I'm the boss, right? You call me the boss. Tell me what happened, right? Let's get this straight from the top. What happened? Let's go through it. I'm gonna take out all the idiots who are attacking the city. He's like, I'm gonna take out all. Obviously, he doesn't mean himself, but he means like, we're gonna do this. I need your strength, right? And he's appealing to his strong side, to the part of Garfield that is like, hell yeah, I'm gonna do this. Hell yeah, I'm strong, right? The part of himself that is not doubting himself. And also, he's saying, I'm reliant on you, right? And it's like calling to a sense of responsibility, right? also to his self-confidence, because it makes you self-confident if a person says, I'm relying on you, I trust you, I rely on you, all of these things. These are important, right? Because if you're being trusted with them, that's why in some of like when you're talking about especially like social systems, family dynamics, or like special like systemic therapy and whatnot, where we look at like the systems that surround the people, right? The systems that surround us in life, that be our workplace, society in general, right? Like our nation, our government, the laws surrounding us, like the structure, the social support structures, the communities, all of these things we have contact with, right? If we're a parent, like for example, like the teachers and whatnot, and the children, and if we're a child, right, the parents, the siblings, whatnot, right? And we look at that, and sometimes if you exist in a system and you're always taken care of, right, in the sense, not in the sense that people are there for you, but in the sense that people always do things for you because they don't think you can do it. What you can learn from that on a long-term perspective sometimes is people don't think you're capable of doing it. And what happens with you then, right? What happens with your self-confidence? What happens with your independence? What happens with, well, if these people that were there for you all the time, right? Example, helicopter parents, right? That were always taking over those things for you are not there anymore. What happens, right? Or if they need to rely on you, well, I tell you what happens. These people are absolutely overwhelmed. They can't deal with it because they feel like everybody has always been mirroring them that they can't do it, right? That they don't trust them to do it, that they think they're not capable of doing it. And as a result, they learned, they understood on a learning perspective, they're not capable of it. And then you get people who are technically would be able to easily, or have the potential to easily acquire the skills to actually do something. But now they're in a scenario where they have never done it before because everybody has always done it for them. And no one of their close like relationships, the people that were close to them, have ever actually trusted them to do something. Now, if they don't trust in me, how can I trust in myself? I mean, obviously, this goes vice versa. If I don't trust in myself, how can I trust other people? It's also a thing. But this is like the other way around. It's like with dependent behavior, you become very dependent on other people, not because they wouldn't be capable or wouldn't have the potential to do these things, but because they have been almost indoctrinated, not on purpose, but almost indoctrinated to believe that they are incapable of doing these things. And Subaru's doing the reverse here, right? He's like, Garfield, you are strong, you are reliable, I need you. And by that, he's appealing to that part of Garfield that is proud and becoming stronger and being as strong as he is at this point in time, in actually being of help to the people he is close to. And he's refocusing him in this situation, which is very important and is displaying very, very well how extremely Subaru developed as a leader. It's almost bringing tears to my eyes how amazing Subaru's character development is in terms of how he effortlessly leads people on. And we talk about that in a second. Well, not lead them on, but lead them. We'll talk about it in a second when Julius says something, but before that, we go shortly into our little fight. I do love some of these sequences here, going in and having like, look at that, like the zoom out and the way we use our momentum. And exchanging some blows. I love the squiggly lines on the swords shortly, right? To show that movement. We're doing moves like pushing ourselves off with the foot on somebody else, right? And Garfield is actually holding himself pretty well. I do love how we're using the like almost rotational shots of the city here. Sword flying in that direction, right? So, oh, I love that. Right, the shot, the fist is coming in, and like he's being stopped in his momentum. Boom, the sword, and the blood is going out. Mimi immediately recognizing that as two of them are closing in. And we do have these flashes. We do have these flashes of his own inner self-doubt, right? He's getting hit and he's like, I'm not capable of this. I can't do it. right? Look at how he's fighting with himself, how his emotions swirl in him after this, right? And now he's desperately almost Regulus-like, but not in the sense of arrogance, but in the sense of like displaying strength to the outside. It's like a cornered animal that is screaming and then making itself look big and whatnot. Of like some of these like, I don't even know, raccoons or whatever who are like the security cam and the lights are going on and the raccoons are like I don't know if that's making big or just freezing, but it's more like, look at me, I'm big, I'm scary. But yeah, like 2 extra hands coming in. I do love how we're shifting the colors as to him just doubting himself and being inside of his own psyche, and it's like getting purple suddenly, and we have those distorted, like almost like it feels delusional, right, in a way, but it is not. He's not delusional, he's just like doubting himself, and this is our way to artistically express this. Yeah, and he's like, that was the moment when he's like, shit, I'm not in it with my mind, and we're not strong enough to face them. We wanted to get out of this. So he grabs her and he's like, let's get the fuck out of here. I love how we're zooming in here, right? We're going in, but yeah, too late. She blocks it with the magic, but she can only partially block it. And even then it's almost deadly as a wound. A huge man with extra arms and a woman. And Wilhelm is kind of holding himself here, obviously foreshadowing probably for something. It's like it was probably the work of the divine protection of the death god, which apparently he has encountered before. Yeah. And Ricardo's doing the same. He's helping Subaru with that. He's refocusing. He's like appealing to his sense of like his warrior self. Yeah. Subaru's like, okay. He's back. Julie's like, what would you do next? I recall the battle with Slav. Perhaps you will be the wonder drug. Remember that. Holy shit. On the one hand, it's amazing how everybody looks up to Subaru at this point, thanks to the things he can do. But nobody still knows what's behind that, right? That behind that is a lot of pain and suffering. That there's no, and this is one of our first loops, so obviously he doesn't have the wonder drug yet, right? And the wonder drug goes through a long road of trauma, to be honest. And well, if I was Subaru, I'd be like, holy shit, no, I don't want to die 20 times to find that out, please. Please? I mean, sometimes he has crazy ideas that are just, regardless of like him dying or whatnot, he has crazy ideas, and that's really great, right? He can be creative, he can be very, but yeah, perhaps he will be the wonder drug. It's like, yeah, exactly. Like, don't ask the impossible of me. What the fuck are you? My leg would be like this if I was like the wonder boy or whatnot. And he's saying it like it is. He's like, technically Emilia is my priority. And we're looking like, we're exchanging some glances, but people know that that's the case. But then Subaru's like, so I'd like to save it. And this is just typical Subaru, right? I want to save everybody. I know there's a priority I have, and I want to go after that first, and it's staying in my mind constantly, right? In the back of my mind, I'm like, holy shit, what's gonna happen? But I know that realistically, there is problems that we need to take care of first, because otherwise it's gonna bite us in the back. And this is also a learning experience, right? This is him learning from his past experiences where he just went for the goal and did not keep in mind all the other elements that are happening at the same time. And then it bit him in the back and he died and he had to start all over again. This is him learning from that. Learning that he needs to take a step back, get his own emotions out of that and be like, okay, what's the most important thing now that helps us the most, that eliminates the most immediate threat, and then we can spread out and actually go in. And this is actually the exact opposite of what Subaru was in episode 3 when I was talking about it, where I was like, look, Subaru went in himself, thought he could do everything by himself, going back into the old pattern. This is the new pattern. This is the new pattern of Subaru actually being like, okay, what's gonna help us the most here? Like the voice that's demoralizing the entire city, terrorizing them, and probably feeding off of that. Our first priority has to be the government office, and now the squad is pulling up. Yeah, I mean, he's in quite a bit of pain, I would say. Alright, so we do kind of catch up a little bit. Krush has trained under Willem, so she has some rudimentary skills in her talent, right? Probably maybe some, like, muscle memory. Muscle memory works different than our semantic memories, our emotional memories and whatnot. And we do see that a part of Krush's emotions are still there. So what I think, actually, I do think that if we go by psychology, that, like real-world psychology, I do think that gluttony is only eating our semantic memories, right? Our autobiographical memories. So the emotional components of our memories might still be present. You kind of get that feeling, I do get that feeling as well, because we have had multiple moments with Ram where she was looking at Ram, interacting with Ram after Ram was already erased, where we do feel like Ram has this sense of connection to her nonetheless, right? She feels like, I don't know this person, but I feel something, like a very basic level. I do feel like our emotional memories are still there, and maybe our muscle memories are there too, to a degree, right? I mean, obviously there's a big debate of what really constitutes as talent, right? Obviously there's genetic dispositions, right? Our genes can affect how well we take to learning certain things, right? Be that on an intellectual level, be that on like on a motoric level, on like a vocational skill level or whatever. Genes are not everything. Obviously, we do have a specific component of our memory that is motoric memory, that is like how we move and whatnot. And one would argue that a part of what other people might perceive as talent is actually also just experience being transferred into that part of our memory. And even if we forget who we are, if we forget what happened, right? If we have amnesia to a degree, right? There's a lot of amnesia that can happen, all the way from like PTSD amnesia, right? We call that dissociative amnesia, right? Where you don't remember the specific event that happened during your trauma, or be that amnesia after an accident, just based on actual damage that's happening, right? Even if that's happening, I do feel like maybe she still has a part of the routine that her body practiced over the course of all these years. But either way, she can fight. Elle's like, I'm out. Sorry, sorry, bro. Sorry, Kodai. It's so funny, but I mean, I guess he's the alternative. I think it's very big of Subaru to actually not go for Amelia. Al going after Priscilla makes sense. He's not as connected to everybody else. And I guess Al figured that he's not so strong in that specific fight maybe, or in fights in general, that he would be a significant addition to the forces. I mean, Julius wouldn't have blamed Subaru either, but I think he respects it a lot that Subaru can actually put the needs of everybody over his own personal needs. So I'm now the one holding us up. Why say that? With you here, we've got the power of 100. We're counting on you. We all saw how hard you went, right? Everybody's like, I trust you. You're gonna fix this. And on the one hand, yeah, like I said, it's great how much trust everybody has in Subaru. But on the other hand, this is a lot of pressure, right? Even beyond just that they don't know what's behind all of that with the suffering. It's also a lot of pressure. I mean, I'm sure Subaru's gonna live up to it to a degree. He's gonna have some parts which are gonna disappoint other people, but the people will be like, alright, we shouldn't have expected that much. And other parts where people are like, holy shit, how did you do that? But I can't wait to see that. If you come up against Gluttony, don't tell him your real name. It's possible that all of the Sin Archbishops are in the city right now. First of all, I don't know what he means with don't tell him your real name. Can he only eat you if he knows your real name? Or is that just a superstition? Either way, if we're both lucky, we'll meet again, brother. Subaru's kind of getting friction, but Julius is gonna get him back on the ground, and I love that, right? That the two of them have the relationship at this point, that he can ground him and be like, you're getting too worked up. And Subaru is like, sorry, you're right. Then Julius is like empathizing. He's like, I don't blame you, Subaru. He's like, what's with you? Leave me alone. Let me be a tsundere again. But he appreciates that, obviously, and Julius takes it as such, as we see from his facial expression. I do love the relationship between the two of them. Also, I do love her haircut here. Holy shit. She's like, all right. Serious time. It makes sense, right? You don't want that happening while you're swishing around. You don't want your hair in front of your face. Squad rolling up. And he's taking him, he's like, we're gonna jump, you're not gonna be part of that. I don't want to know what these eggs are. It looks like alien and I don't like it, but yeah. Two of them up there going in. Krush with her like sword. Oh, holy shit, look at that. What are we doing, like ones or twos? Let me see. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2. Alright. So we're like speeding up the movement when the final blow comes. It's a 1 frame. And then we're going 2 for the shock wave, like the power wave that's going out. And we have that. Oh, that is so cool. How we rotate the shot and zoom in and hone in on the person. And she's just striking it back with her sword. Insane. Boom. Yeah. Holy shit. That shot of Julius goes hard. It goes so hard. And he's like going in with his sword and striking. Oh yeah. This is like the kind of animation I live for when it comes to combat animations in anime. Like this is really cool. I mean, it's nothing like it's not Chainsaw Man, right? It's not ufotable. But it's really, really solid. So I like that. The smile he has on his face here. This is confident Garfield, and I really like it. And Willem also going in. The swords clashing. And you have like I love that we're not just but that we're actually consciously making an effort of showing how the force that is being applied here is redirected and stuff like that. I mean, it's not the most, like, this doesn't need to be the most detailed shot. What it needs to convey is the feeling of motion, right? And this is what it's doing here, right? The way the sword bends backwards and it's like a lot bigger on the end because it's a lot closer to the camera, basically. And the way we have like smoosh sometimes in order to display like very quick and fast movement or movement that are not as readable by the eye. And then we have the sparks flying. Those sparks wouldn't fly in real life, but it's like a way to emphasize the impact of what's happening. And he's like, so it's true. We don't know what's true, but we're gonna find out, I guess. Holy shit, the arm actually grabbing Garfield and throwing him away as Ricardo's coming in. That is wild. That is wild. He's like, 4 arms ain't nothing, and then bro is like, how about 6? Oh shit. But he isn't using 2 arms either. He's using his mouth as well, breaking the blade. And going in, right, and then the other 2 are coming out. I don't know, like, it looks like 6, or maybe it's 8, I don't know. And we even have, like, the whip coming in from Subaru, who is... I like that actually Subaru is doing something. I mean, we know he's not the most combat-heavy person, but it's nice that he's, like, doing distraction work and whatnot in order to help everybody. Eliminating the flames, holy fuck. One more time, no. And this is like... I was kind of losing it on that. I was like, that is the most goofy dragon I've ever seen. I agree 100% with Subaru. Holy shit, that is like the way the facial expressions are done, right? This looks very scary, right? And suddenly she starts talking and wiggling her tongue and it's like, the fuck, how can I take you seriously like that? There's this like disconnect, right? There's this like palpable disconnect between the danger she poses and the weird, absurd way she's mimicking and moving. And all of them, like, even Krush is appalled, but Subaru especially is like, What am I supposed to think of that, right? Like, you're ruining dragons for me. And she's doing dad puns. She's like, this is not an underdog, but an undercat. What the fuck are you doing? Stop it. But I was actually getting to him, and Subaru's like, nah. Alright, I'm gonna throw some back. I'm gonna throw some shade back. Yeah, I love that. The camera movement, right? The way we shake that. Look at some of these frames. Wait a second. Yeah. Peak frames, actually. This is peak ReZero, not gonna lie. Even the dragon's like, wait. I know I'm crazy, but what the fuck are you? But he was buying time, and the way the hair flows for Julius, right? And holy shit, that frame, right? The framing? Like the way it's distorted, it's very artistic, or really cool, really cool. Obviously, we have the pretty boy shot. And then we're going out. Holy, look at that, look at that. The movement, right? Drawing the sword in. With like one eye shining out, and then pointing it up. And we're at the hilt of the sword. Really, really neat. And wait, let me actually... The fuck kind of shit is that? Just healing back up, it's like... But like for a second, she looks like the derp dragon in what like the 3 dragons, like... You know, like the meme with the 3 dragon heads and one of them is like derpy. Oh, would you look at that, the time has come. I'll be going inside. So like they're working on a timetable, obviously, depending on what the gospel is saying. Right, and we want to go in. I think one of the last scenes I actually want to do, it's like, he's like, take care of Krush. I'm like gonna, with the wind spirit, gonna get us up. And Subaru's like, I'm sorry about that. And it's kind of like almost like a superhero landing. Nice, superhero landing. Almost a comical, kind of romantic kind of shot, right? Especially the way she acts as well, like in terms of like the voice acting and whatnot. The way she sounds, she's very like a little bit insecure and like maybe also from the closeness, and maybe also a little bit like impressed by Subaru's bravado in this situation. And Subaru doesn't want to make her feel bad, so he's like, it's fine. It's fine. It's not like my leg kind of cracked, but it's fine. Yeah. And the door springs open and out comes the last person you want to actually get out. Honestly, literally the way he's kind of drooping himself, right? It's a little bit different. Like, Lai also has just like, but he is even more like very wiggly, which is kind of disgusting, not gonna lie. And the way he drools and he talks, we drink, we gorge, and describes it in great detail. I love this shot, right? There's like the distorted eye and whatnot. Way more disturbing than Daphne, in my opinion. And he gets the flashes of Rem as he's like, oh shit, this is gluttony. Like, I'm not very smart, I'm not good remembering stuff. Oh, that is rich coming from fucking gluttony, holy shit. Did he actually say you little shit? I think that's the translation, but accurate and good translation. Thank you very much. Yeah, then he introduces himself, of course he does. Roy Alfard, and we have the confirmation. There's 2 gluttonies, Roy and Lai. Either they're 2 personalities, very doubtful at this point, or there's 2 gluttonies. How are there 2 gluttonies? What the fuck? I thought there were rules. I was always keeping those rules. Completely out of ReZero, aren't we, right? Like, we have 7 deadly sins, suddenly there's Pandora. What? Hello? Yeah. And the ED, which I missed. I didn't miss it because I didn't even recognize the ED was not in episode 3, but I love the ED. I love the ED. It's such a great song. Nice visuals too. Although I feel like the visuals of the OP, like OP wise, I think the visuals are better. And for the ED, I like the visuals almost as much, but I like the song a lot more. I gotta love that Mythenroid. And then we have a little teaser at the end of it. Alright, hello. And then we have a little teaser at the end of it with like Emilia waking up completely naked, being like, what the fuck, it just happened, right? The last thing I remember is fighting that crazy bitch. What is happening? And he's like, you're finally awake. You were trying to cross the border. No, he's not like that, but he's like just playing all gentleman-like, and she's like, who the fuck are you? And he's like, I'll introduce myself in a second, right? I'm gonna let you finish. No, I'm gonna introduce myself in a second, but it's very important that you answer that simple question. Are you a virgin? And the entire audience is like, what the fuck? Because that's what really matters. Of course, that's what really matters. That was ReZero episode 4. Really great, really great. Actually, you have like the secondary camera footage at the end right here, because my main camera had to shut down because of high internal temperature. It happens a couple of times here and there after multiple hours of recording. That's just how it is. But I thought, what the fuck? I don't want to wait for it to cool down, right? It's gonna be fine, right? We're gonna finish it off here with the old cam, with the webcam. I do have that as a backup after all, so it's fine. I do hope you enjoyed this discussion, and for all of you who sticked around, thank you very much for listening up till the end. Go check out my other series and all of that stuff. Go check out the Discord and the Patreon, and other than that, I hope I'll see you next week, probably a little bit later next week because I'm working and stuff like that. I hope I'll see you next week for ReZero episode 5. Till then.